debunked by scientists through contemporary research. This essay aims to enlighten you about 25 commonly accepted notions that are, in fact, untrue. 1. Humans only utilize 10% of their brain. Understanding brain function. Debunking the 10% myth. Scientists are certain that individuals use their entire brain, although not all areas are active at the same time. Different zones and nerve centers of the brain serve specific functions and activate in response to various stimuli. For instance, the auditory center engages only when processing sound. Even during sleep, our brains utilize more than just 10% of their potential. Various regions remain active, managing essential processes, such as memory consolidation and regulating bodily functions. This understanding highlights the complexity and efficiency of the human brain, debunking the myth that we only use a fraction of its capabilities. 2. Alcohol destroys brain cells. The effects of alcohol on the brain. While alcohol does not actually kill brain cells, it can damage the connections that hold them together, disrupting communication between neurons. This impairment can lead to cognitive deficits and affect various brain functions. Research has shown that prolonged alcohol consumption can indeed harm the brain. Chronic drinking is associated with structural changes, including shrinkage of certain brain regions, which can impact memory, decision-making, and emotional regulation. 3. Drugs that kill viruses. The antibiotics myth. Understanding their limitations. One of the most pervasive and dangerous myths is that antibiotics are effective against all types of infections. In reality, antibiotics are specifically designed to combat bacterial infections and have no effect on viruses, fungi, or parasites. 4. The highest mountain is Everest. Mount Everest and Mauna Kea. A comparison of heights. Mount Everest stands at an impressive height of 8,848 meters above sea level, making it the tallest mountain on Earth. However, when considering the total height from base to summit, Hawaii's Mauna Kea is even more remarkable. Mauna Kea rises approximately 10,000 meters from its base on the ocean floor, with about 4,207 meters of its height above sea level and around 6,000 meters below sea level. This means that while Everest is the highest point above sea level, Mauna Kea is the tallest mountain when measured from its underwater base. 5. In space, there is no gravity. Gravity in space. Understanding its nature. Researchers have discovered that gravity does indeed exist in space. While it is oriented differently compared to what we experience on Earth, it remains a fundamental force throughout the universe. 6. Evolution is necessary for existence. Understanding evolution, change and adaptation. According to biologists, evolution is not merely tolerant of change for the sake of change. Instead, it is a process driven by the need for adaptation to environmental pressures and survival. 7. Children who eat sugar become hyperactive. Understanding hyperactivity in children. The sugar myth in modern society. Many factors contribute to hyperactivity in children, with the belief that sugar is a primary cause being one of the most common misconceptions. 8. Bats cannot see. Bats' vision and echolocation. Although bats are often thought to have poor vision, they are not blind. Many species of bats possess functional eyesight that complements their primary navigation method. Echolocation. 9. Never twice does lightning strike the same location. Lightning strikes. Understanding patterns. Current scientific studies indicate that lightning is more likely to strike the same location multiple times rather than no random spots. 10. Milk is beneficial to bones. Milk consumption and bone fracture risk. A review of studies. Numerous studies have indicated that there is no significant correlation between increased milk consumption and a lower risk of bone fractures. Key points: calcium and bone health. While milk is a rich source of calcium, which is essential for bone health, the relationship between dairy intake and fracture prevention is complex. Research findings. Many studies have found that higher milk consumption does not necessarily lead to a reduced incidence of bone fractures, suggesting that other factors may play a more critical role in bone health, such as overall diet, physical activity, and genetics. Holistic approach. Maintaining bone health may require a more comprehensive approach that includes a balanced diet, weight-bearing exercises, and lifestyle choices rather than relying solely on milk consumption. 11. Someone could be killed by a penny dropped from a tall building. The impact of a falling penny. Science behind. The myth. Scientists have shown that air resistance and the aerodynamics of a penny prevent it from falling with enough force to cause injury to a human. Key points. Air resistance. As a penny falls, it encounters air resistance, which significantly slows its descent. This resistance increases as the penny accelerates, eventually reaching a terminal velocity. Terminal velocity. The terminal velocity of a penny is relatively low, meaning it falls slowly enough that it cannot generate the force needed to cause serious harm upon impact. Aerodynamics. The shape and weight of a penny contribute to its aerodynamic properties, further limiting its speed and impact force. 12. Nerve fibers don't renew. Neurogenesis. The brain's ability to create new cells. In 1988, neuroscientists demonstrated that the human brain has the capacity to generate new nerve cells, neurons, and form new connections, synapses, throughout a person's life, a concept known as neurogenesis. Key points. Neurogenesis. This process primarily occurs in the hippocampus, a region associated with memory and learning. It shows that the brain can adapt and reorganize itself even in adulthood. Lifelong learning. The ability to form new neurons and connections supports the idea that engaging in cognitive activities, physical exercise, and social interactions can promote brain health and function at any age. Implications for aging. Understanding neurogenesis has significant implications for treating neurodegenerative diseases and enhancing cognitive resilience as people age. 13. After death, nails and hair continue to grow. Hair and nail growth. The need for nourishment. Scientists have shown that hair and nails require nourishment that a dead corpse cannot provide for continued growth. Key points. Living cells. Hair and nails are composed of living cells that need nutrients to grow. These nutrients come from the body's circulatory system, which delivers essential vitamins and minerals. Metabolic activity. For hair and nail growth to occur, metabolic processes must be active. Once a body dies, these processes cease, and cells can no longer receive the necessary nourishment. Nutritional sources. A balanced diet rich in proteins, vitamins such as biotin, and minerals like zinc is crucial for healthy hair and nail growth. 14. 7 years for gum to digest. Digestion of chewing gum. Myths and facts. It is a common myth that the body obediently expels chewing gum after a few days. In reality, while chewing gum is not easily digested, it does not stay in the body for an extended period. Key points. Indigestibility. Chewing gum is made from synthetic materials that the digestive system cannot break down. However, this does not mean it remains in the body. Natural expulsion. The body typically expels chewing gum through the digestive tract within a few days, similar to other indigestible substances. Potential risks. While swallowing gum occasionally is generally harmless, doing so frequently can lead to digestive issues, such as blockages, especially in children. 15. Water is stored in camels' humps. Adaptations of camels. Surviving harsh environments. Camels possess unique adaptations that enable them to thrive in arid conditions, including fat storage in their humps and specialized red blood cells. Key points. Fat storage in humps. The humps of camels store fat, which can be metabolized for energy during long journeys when food is scarce. This adaptation allows camels to travel great distances without needing constant nourishment. Water conservation. Camels are remarkably efficient in conserving water. Their bodies can withstand significant dehydration, and they can survive for up to a week without drinking water. Specialized red blood cells. The red blood cells of camels are oval-shaped, which helps them maintain blood flow and oxygen transport even when dehydrated. This adaptation is crucial for their survival in extreme conditions. 16. The brightest star in the sky is Polaris. Navigation by stars. The North Star and Sirius. In the past, mariners relied heavily on celestial navigation, particularly using the North Star Polaris and other prominent stars like Sirius. Key points. North Star Polaris. The North Star is crucial for navigation because it is located nearly directly above the North Pole. Its position remains relatively fixed in the sky, making it a reliable indicator of true north for navigators. 17. Color. Red Angers bulls. Bulls and the matador. The myth of color. Bulls respond to the matador's movements, rather than the color of his coat, debunking the common myth that they are angered by specific colors. Key points: color blindness. Bulls, like many other cattle, are dichromatic, meaning they have limited color vision and cannot distinguish between red and other colors effectively. Movement and behavior. Bulls are more reactive to the motion of the matador's cape rather than its color. The swirling movements and actions of the matador provoke the bull's instinctive responses. Cultural misunderstanding. The association of the color red with aggression in bullfighting is largely a cultural interpretation. The cape, known as the muleta, is traditionally red, but its color does not influence the bull's behavior. 18. If a worm is cut in half, it will regenerate. Regeneration in earthworms and planarian flatworms. While earthworms have some regenerative abilities, they are not limited to only growing a tail. In contrast, planarian flatworms are known for their remarkable capacity for total regeneration. Key points: earthworm regeneration. Earthworms can regenerate lost segments of their bodies, but this ability varies among species. They can regrow parts of their tail and, in some cases, other body segments, depending on the extent of the injury. Planarian flatworms, planarians, are famous for their extraordinary regenerative capabilities. They can regenerate entire bodies from small fragments, including their heads, tails, and internal organs, making them a model organism for studying regeneration. Regeneration mechanisms. The mechanisms behind regeneration differ significantly between earthworms and planarians. Planarians possess specialized stem cells called neoblasts, which enable them to regenerate complex structures. 19. The 5-second rule is inapplicable. Bacterial contamination of food. Speed and factors. Bacteria can indeed contaminate food quickly, but the process involves several factors that influence how rapidly this can occur. Key points: rapid reproduction. Bacteria can multiply rapidly under favorable conditions, doubling in number every 20 minutes or less. This means that once bacteria are present on food, they can quickly increase in quantity. Sources of contamination. Bacteria can enter food through various means, including improper handling, cross-contamination, or exposure to contaminated surfaces. This can happen in a matter of seconds if conditions are right. Temperature and environment. Warm temperatures and moisture create ideal conditions for bacterial growth. Foods left out at room temperature are particularly susceptible to rapid contamination. 20. Chameleons alter their color to fit into their environment. Chameleon color change. Communication and environmental factors. Chameleons are well known for their ability to change color, which serves multiple purposes beyond just interacting with family members. Key points: communication. Chameleons often change color to communicate with other chameleons, signaling their mood, dominance, or readiness to mate. This interaction can help establish territory and social hierarchy. Temperature regulation. Chameleons also alter their color in response to temperature. Darker colors can absorb more heat, while lighter colors reflect sunlight, helping them regulate their body temperature in varying environmental conditions. Mood variation. Their color can reflect their emotional state, such as stress, fear, or relaxation. For example, a chameleon may darken when threatened or become brighter when feeling secure. 21. The largest desert on Earth is the Sahara. Comparison of desert areas: Antarctic desert versus Sahara Desert. The Antarctic desert is indeed larger than the Sahara Desert, but the area difference is significant. Key points: Antarctic desert size. The Antarctic desert is the largest desert in the world, covering approximately 14 million square kilometers, about 5.4 million square miles. 22. The only human construction visible from space is the Great Wall of China. Viewing Earth from the International Space Station ISS. The International Space Station ISS offers astronauts unique perspectives of various landmarks and natural phenomena on Earth, including flooded areas and historical sites like the Egyptian pyramids. Key points: flooded bridges. From the ISS, astronauts can observe large-scale environmental changes, including flooding. The vantage point allows for a clear view of infrastructure affected by water levels, such as bridges. Egyptian pyramids. The iconic pyramids of Giza are also visible from space. Their distinct shapes and location near Cairo make them recognizable landmarks for astronauts. Aboard the ISS Earth observation, the ISS serves as a platform for scientific research and Earth observation, enabling the study of climate change, urban development, and natural disasters from a global perspective. 23. The largest living organism is a blue whale. The largest living organism, Armillaria commonly known as the honey fungus, is indeed recognized as the largest known living organism on Earth. Key points: size and area. This mycelium covers an area of approximately 2,385 acres, about 965 hectares, which is roughly equivalent to 4 square kilometers. It is primarily located in the Malheur National Forest in Oregon. Fruiting bodies. The organism produces numerous fruiting bodies, or mushrooms, which are the visible part of the fungus. While there can be many fruiting bodies, they are just a small part of the extensive underground network of mycelium. Mycelium network. The vast mycelial network allows the fungus to absorb nutrients from the surrounding environment, contributing to its size and longevity. 24. Cancer cannot affect sharks. The fallacy of shark cartilage is cancer treatment. The promotion of shark cartilage as a cancer treatment is based on misinformation and has significant ecological consequences. Key points: ineffective treatment. Scientific studies have shown that shark cartilage does not effectively treat cancer. Claims about its benefits lack substantial evidence, and reputable medical organizations do not endorse its use for cancer therapy. 25. People only have 5 senses. Additional senses beyond the 5 empirical senses. In addition to the commonly recognized 5 senses: taste, smell, hearing, touch, and sight, there are several other important sensory modalities that contribute to our perception of the world. Key points: nociception. This is the sensory process that detects pain. It helps the body respond to harmful stimuli, signaling potential injury and prompting protective actions. Equilibrioception. This sense relates to balance and spatial orientation. It is primarily governed by the vestibular system in the inner ear, which helps maintain stability and posture. Proprioception, often referred to as the sixth sense. Proprioception is the awareness of body position and movement. It allows individuals to sense the location of their limbs and body parts without relying on sight. Thermoception. This is the ability to sense temperature changes, allowing us to perceive warmth and cold. Thermoreceptors in the skin detect temperature variations, contributing to our overall sensory experience.